Welcome to this edition of Grade 3 Math Dive in 5. My name is Daryl Frost and we're focusing on measurement today.
I'm Barbara Knox. Thank you for joining us.
So in just a moment, you're going to pause the video and you're going to observe how the student measured the index card with a ruler and the sample student answer on the next slide. Now, it's a very common misconception that you're going to see. We're going to build your content knowledge around addressing the misconception. So what I would like for you to do is to create one or two questions to address this common misconception, because I anticipate that you're going to see this with at least one student in your classroom. So good luck with that. So here you see the progression with BEST with regards to measurement benchmarks, and this goes from 2nd to 4th grade. If you look at 2nd grade, what's the big idea, Barbara, that you see happening in grade 2?
Well, they're estimating and measuring length. They're limited to inches, feet, yards, centimeters, and meters. Not even, yeah, it does have yards.
Yes, it does.
Whole units.
Right.
Whole length units.
And then also the its addition and subtraction problems,
Relating that measurement to a number line.
A number line, yes. And then also with 3rd grade, they also solve 1 and 2 step problems, but they are involving all 4 operations. So it could include multiplication and division. And in 4th grade, selecting and using appropriate tools to measure the attributes of objects. So here we go, Barbara. This is the task, and the teachers were asked to what questions would, 1 or 2 questions that would address this misconception. Student says what? How would a student that's not understanding a ruler answer this?
So if I'm measuring the whole white paper, not just the lined part, then I would anticipate that a student might say that it was 21 centimeters instead of 20. And some questions I might ask.
Now, let me pause you right there.
Okay.
What we don't want to happen is like telling.
Right.
Like we don't want to say, well, you need to start at 0, because that does that mean anything to the third grader?
It doesn't help them understand why we start at 0.
So with that being said, let's think about a question to probe their thinking.
I think the first question that I would probably ask is, I'd give them a centimeter cube. Can you show me where 1 centimeter is on that ruler?
So they could put that, and we can visualize that 1 centimeter between 1 and 2 centimeters. That would be a centimeter.
1 centimeter cube would fit.
1 centimeter cube, that's measuring the edge, is 1 centimeter.
And then if I was going to measure that piece of paper with centimeter cubes, how many of them should it take?
So they could actually literally take centimeter cubes and line them up.
Right. So they might think right now it's going to take 21 because my ruler is ending at 21 centimeters. But in reality, how many is it going to take?
It's going to take, they're going, well, wait a minute, it's only 20 centimeters.
Right.
Is the length of the index card. Then what would you, if they discover that,
so
what would you follow up with?
I would ask them, then why is your ruler ending at 21? Where is the other centimeter on the ruler that we're missing? And see if they can
come to the conclusion that
from 0 to 1 is a centimeter.
So that's going to throw it off. So it's really only 20 centimeters.
And how would I have to shift that ruler to make it show the 20 centimeters?
But think about the difference versus you just saying to me, you need to start at 0. It's like now it gives them purpose.
Correct.
So for your second task, you're going to pause the video, think about student understanding of temperature, create 1 or 2 questions that would support student understanding of thermometers. So here we have the task. Here's the thermometer with these, and the student has to read that interpret that temperature accurately, what are a couple of questions that would support student understanding?
First, I would think maybe asking them what the numbers remind them of,
So like a number
trying
line,
to make the connection to a number line.
and perhaps this might help a little bit if they just actually change the
Ah.
orientation there and say, oh yeah.
And then even having that conversation, do number lines have to be horizontal?
Exactly. Yes, there you
Because
go.
the thermometer really is a number line. It's
It
just
is.
a vertical
It's
version of a number line.
absolutely. And there they could even draw that
Yep,
and see, oh,
they
it's
sure
just
could.
the same idea. That could help a whole lot, right?
Yes, it could.
And then, any other thoughts
Well, I
there?
think some things that might be challenging for them is when it falls between two numbers, trying to figure out what
Estimating.
the actual measurement might be.
I mean, here we see it at 60, but if it was
Mhm.
between 50 and 60, then okay, what is halfway,
Between.
50 and 60? That's where number routines
Well,
really
we
come
have to
in.
think about that when we're using number lines to round, for example.
Exactly.
Those
Exactly.
estimation skills.
Absolutely. So it reinforces that.
Mhm.
So here you see 5 misconceptions. The last 3 there, the last 3 bullets all kind of have a thread through them. What would you say that it's important?
Well, I think it's really important that they include units, because if I say something is 27 long, 27 what? I
Or
can't,
60 what?
right,
Like on
I
that
can't visualize
thermometer.
it. And 27 centimeters and 27 meters are two very different measurements.
And they need to be able to verbalize it and record it or write it
Right.
as well. Yes.
Yeah.
So as with any benchmark, the CRA process applies. Here, concrete, they need to be using
Use those
tools.
actual tools.
Yeah,
Right.
they
Put
got
them
to
in their
use,
hands.
yep, rulers, thermometers, cups, all kinds of things, right?
Yes.
Then the representation was really thinking about those number lines, those scales on rulers, and what am I trying to say? Thermometers, connecting that to number lines and so forth, and then the reasoning and what we just talked about, whatever the units are, saying it and being able to notate it in written form.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of Math Dive in 5.
We'll see you back next time.
Bye.